Hello again. It is Dave with Mountain Aromatics. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm here in Denver, Colorado, and I'm here to help you learn how to create your own fragrances at home. Today, I wanted to go over wood materials for your fragrance or for creating accords if you want to do that. Brandon, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining me. So the wood materials are kind of huge. So I'm going to break it down and we're going to do one type of wood. We're going to kind of hone in. So today I'm not going to talk about sandalwoods. So that's going to be hi Steve. So it's going to be a whole video unto itself. I'll probably do that today. Roxana, I love you. Oh my gosh. Oh, get well soon, please. Take care of yourself. So that is a type of wood. Another type of wood, that's a whole thing unto itself, is like the amber woods. Yeah, that's a whole nother, could be 5 videos right there. And so what I want to deal with today, and then there's the cedar woods, and then there's 2 true cedar woods. I'll just say it really quick. So the 2 true cedar woods are cedarwood Himalayan and cedarwood Atlas. You might be like, well, what about cedarwood Texas and cedarwood Virginia? Those are junipers. Those are not woods. Those are junipers. So cedarwood Texas and cedarwood Virginia, those are cedar woods, and they're another category, the junipers. So the 2 cedar woods, Atlas and Himalayan, beautiful. They're amazing. They're just a wood and to their own, kind of different. So what I want to focus on today is like when you get a piece of fresh wood and you break it open and you would smell it. So that type of wood. And then there's oud or agar wood, same thing, that kind of stuff. That's 50 videos unto itself because there's all kinds of different ouds, agar woods, but that's a different type as well. But I'm going to start in our simple, for those of you who are just getting started with perfumery and you want to do some simple wood materials like fresh blonde wood or some dark wood, some older wood. That's what I have for you today. So I'm going to start pretty simple, although they're pretty amazing. And then when you combine some of them together, they create some really cool stuff too. So when you're doing a formula, you don't have to put just 1. You could put like 2, even 3 of these in your formula. So you can make it a little bit more complex wood. So the first one I'm going to start with is wood base Firmenich. This is, first off, to me, it's a must-have. You need to get this one. It is your basic wood. This is not brand new, fresh wood that's been cut, but not old wood. It is a little fresh, but has a little bit of age to the wood, a little bit. Very clean. It just smells like I'm not going to say sawdust. It does not smell like sawdust because that's dry. And there's stuff that smells like sawdust, and I'm not going to get into that. This is more just some fresh, blondish wood that's very clean and straightforward. Probably the most straightforward wood aroma that I have smelled. So just a real simple but really nice wood that's not too new and sharpy, like sharp, because there's some woods that can be super sharp, and not flat either. This is a great, great blend, and a great name, Wood Base. It's just a great base of wood. It is by Firmenich. I don't know why I didn't put the stats down here, but it's a base. Obviously, it's probably 400 hours, very long lasting. I love using it. So the next one, I'm going to confuse you a little bit because I said I'm not going to do the ouds. This is kind of in the oud department, but very forgiving. So it's Blackwood by Firmenich. And a lot of times you will hear oud as like a black wood. They describe it as a type of oud, which could be for people who are new to it. And you read about oud, you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm not going to touch this one. It's a type of oud. No, this one is very, very, very forgiving. It is more wood, regular wood type, with a tiny bit of forgiving oud in it. This one, I did a whole video on it because it's one of my favorites. Oh my God. This, put it on, oh yeah, I'm holding myself back. It smells really good on a guy. It just does. It is very sexy, warm, beautiful. Even though it's called Blackwood, it is very, very complex, but it still has a clean aroma. It's still pretty clean instead of super complex and dirty, and where a lot of ouds can be, which is awesome and it has its place. But this is not that. This is probably the most, it's very, very sensual. Yes. But don't think this is just for a men's formula, if you do men's and women's formulas or whatever. But I wear whatever. I don't care. It's America that came up with the whole concept of fragrances for men and fragrances for women. Whatever. If you like it, you like it. If it smells good on you, it smells good on you. But that's my opinion. But this one is a must-have. Oh my God. If you are watching this, that just means some things. I know some things about you. You want to get this one. It is absolutely a necessity. It's just so beautiful. So when you add two things to me that go with this, like mad, like crazy good, or any type of rose and any type of tuberose. Of course, other stuff will go with it, but you want to make it drowned in sensual and just be like crazy amazing. Put this in a formula with any type of rose, Darinia SAE, with any type of tuberose. Amazing. Like it's one of those ones you need. if you're doing perfumery and you're watching this and you're trying to learn, I'm telling you, you want to get it. Again, it's by Firmenich. It's called Blackwood. Very, very forgiving oud. I don't put it in the oud department. I don't. I just don't. When I smell it and I see the word Blackwood, it is a dark aged wood. It's a dark wood. That's where I put it. That's my category for it. But I'm telling you, I've had guys over here smell this. Every single one of them who don't do perfumery, but who have made fragrances with me for themselves, every single one of them, I've had them smell this, all have added that. It's like men love this for themselves. They're like, yeah, this smells good, but it's not your fougere, that's for sure. Anyway, next one that is not necessarily, it has a wood aroma, timber silk. If you were doing perfumery, you have to have timber silk. You just do. I can already tell you right now it's going to be a longer video because I have stuff to say. So I'm going to have to pull this, and I'm going to have to pull this. Okay, so I've done a video on timber silk, but this one is a rounding. This one is going to be a worker. You need this for multiple reasons, but it is going to be, it will round off formulas that can be too sharp, because a lot of times in men's fragrances, typically there'll be a lot of citrus, bergamot, although bergamot is more watery and it's more round and not sharp edges. Grapefruit, that's another one. Why grapefruit? Always really, really, really goes with vetiver. Grapefruit, vetiver, hello, great combination. But those can be really sharp and have sharp edges. And if you want to round those edges off, it's timber silk that will do that. It's not very, it is warm. It's not very warm. It's warm. It is woody amber, yet silky soft. And it will give fullness to your formula. It is a must have, and don't get a half ounce. Get an ounce or more of this. You need this. You have to have it, in my opinion. And it's one of those that if you get a bunch of half ounces and a couple of 1 ounces, this is a 1 ounce. So here we go. I'm about to teach you something about your timber silk. So there are two other things that are basically the same, but the gamma, I hope I'm saying this right, isomers, the gammas or numbers are slightly different in Isoe Super and in Silva Amber. So the softest is Isoe Super, and it's found in a lot of fragrances. You can use it at very high amounts, although it's restricted to 21.4%. It's just very, very similar. So it's lighter, in my opinion. And the timber silk is a little bit stronger. These are not strong at all. They're really awesome. And then what they do with their chemistry is what's crazy. And that's why you have to have all three of these. And I'm about to tell you, is what they do. I don't know of any other material that does it. It is this crazy, amazing thing that it does to fragrances. But anyway, so the one that's a little bit darker, that has even more gamma, is the Silva Amber. It's by DRT. That's the company, DRT. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit heavier. but they're awesome. To me, you will need them. If it were paint, it would be like your primary colors of red, yellow, blue. That's what this is. You need it. You absolutely need it. So that's why I'm saying it's has a little bit of wood, but combine that with this magic. Combine that with this magic. It is a worker. These three are worker materials. Worker materials. So it's way more than, oh, that smells nice. I'm going to add that for the fragrance. It's way more than that. This is what it does, how it interacts with all of your materials. That's the important thing about this. That's the important thing about ISO-E Super. Okay? That's why it's so important. You need it. The next one I'm going to tell you is Cedrol. Cedrol. Yeah. It is from cedarwood, but doesn't smell like cedarwood. So sometimes cedarwood can be really just kind of sharp and, I don't know, just a very different type of wood. But let me tell you what Cedrol is. So they will take cedarwood atlas and they will, don't ask me the temperature, they will freeze it, and it is well below freezing, like really well below freezing. And what will happen is these crystals will start falling in the cedarwood atlas. And so at the bottom, you'll just have all these crystals. And so they'll take that and then they'll pour it out and separate the crystals. And then we'll get a little bit of perfumer's alcohol and rinse off all the excess on the outside of the crystals. And then they'll dry the crystals. Those dried crystals are Cedrol crystals. And then you take those Cedrol crystals and you dilute them and turn them into a liquid, and you have Cedrol. So it is a component of cedarwood atlas. Really, really quick, they do the same thing with peppermint oil. So you take peppermint oil and you freeze it well below freezing. Like they really, really freeze it at low temperatures. And crystals, again, start to form, and they fall to the bottom, obviously. And they'll do that same process, pour it out, rinse the crystals. And the crystals that you have left, what is it? You know, from peppermint? Menthol. Menthol crystals. That's how you get menthol crystals. And they're a derivative of peppermint essential oil. So menthol, perfect. Yay, Roxana. And that is, that's what they do. So the same thing happened to Cedrol. So it is very, very, very different. Smells nothing like the cedarwood atlas. Very, very clean. They describe it as dry. I don't know that it's not dry. Absolutely not. There are some other materials, when they call it dry, it is like dry. It's so dry. This one is not. This one's way more forgiving. And that's why I'm putting it here for you. Because when you get this, it is sweet and soft. Definitely a soft wood that doesn't smell like a cedar wood. So don't be scared of it if you have this like cedar wood in your head of being sharp and almost sour fresh cedarwood can be. It's not that at all. This is super beautiful, forgiving, a great, great wood. Super good wood. 400 hours. It's a base. It's not expensive at all. It is not. And you can use a pretty good amount of it. It probably has less aroma than anything so far. I just put away the timber silk. Then the last one I have is, this one's on the edge of being an amber, like not like labdanum amber, more like an, it's a whole nother video of the ambers that are like lembanol, kind of like that. Like Amber Max, that type of stuff. Ambrox Super, kind of, no, not Ambrox Super, sorry, but like Amber Max, something like that. It's in that vein. It's called Wood Amber or Timberol. And to me, it's a dark wood. It is a different type of aroma than the black wood, where I said the black wood is a dark wood. This is more of a dark wood that goes into the direction of that amber, like I just stated, where this dark wood goes in the direction, if it goes any direction, it goes into a clean agar wood, dark wood. So these are very, very, very different from each other. So if you got all of these, you would have 5 completely different materials here, and that's why I picked them. Very, very different from each other. This one, I typically, the amber wood, one word, and it's very important. If you go to creatingperfume.com, like how you type in is pretty important. It's just very picky, but amber wood is one word. And Timberol, it is a dark wood to me. But in the back seat is, so like a dark aged wood with in the back seat being your Amber Max kind of note. Not that harsh. Again, that's why I'm saying it's kind of in the back seat. So I typically use it as when I want an old dark wood. This is my go-to for it. And these are my take on really good woods that are your typical, when you kind of chop wood, your basic normal wood that you would think about wood. And then there's sandalwoods, then there's cedars, then there's the amber max, like ambers, like woody ambers, like that kind of stuff. Cedrol, ambroxan type, those are a different animal. So with basics of blonde wood, dark wood, soft wood, this is your go-to. Perfect. And these will be your base. So again, the other thing that I will tell you that is just incredible, if you take one piece of thing away today, it is take this timber silk and add it to these. It will do amazing wonders, I'm telling you. And you can go really, really high on this timber silk. It's restricted to 20%, blah, blah, blah. But It's just beautiful. So don't think you have to use these individually, because you absolutely can take your, what is it? The wood base and the Cedrol together. That's really awesome, because this is soft, and this wood base is more of a blonde, newer wood, and it will soften that. The Cedrol will soften this blonde wood a little bit. Add a lot, it will soften it a lot. That kind of a thing. And again, the biggest softener rounder is going to be your timber silk, and the other two, brother and sister, I'm just going to say, oh my God, don't email me. But the sister is going to be the Isui Super, and then the brother is going to be the Silva Silk. I mean, Silva Amber. Silva Amber. So that is your basic. Oh, Brandon has a question. Are Timber Silk and Isui Super interchangeable all the time? My answer is absolutely yes. They are. They're so close. The only difference is the gamma. There is slightly more gamma in your Timber Silk than your Isui Super. So your Isui Super is going to be a little lighter. A little bit lighter, but absolutely, you can interchange them pretty easily. Now, Brandon, let me tell you, what I'm not saying is, oh, if you have Isui Super, you don't need Timber Silk. Oh my God, no, you want both of them. You want both of them because they are a little different. Their chemistry is different, but here's why. When you have a really light formula that you were doing and you don't want to take it down and heavy and change it from being, I want it to be a really kind of a light formula, like a lighter floral or whatever, and I want to kind of keep it there. I don't want it to be this heavy formula full of base and that kind of stuff. It's kind of bright, and I want to keep it bright. That's when you want to use Isui Super. Then if you have some wood going on, but that wood is too sharp or too stinky or too heavy, too whatever, this will help lighten that up and soften those sour notes some. But still, at the same time, they're interchangeable. You can use these in any situation. Like when you're like, oh, I know, because the deal is that you can, even just using a drop or two of this in a formula can do some magic. And if you have just like a generic formula, it's not too light and too whatever, and it's not too dark, whatever, you can use whichever of these that you want. Just smell both of them. They're pretty similar, although the Timber Silk is just has a little bit more aroma. You can use this one or you can use this one. That's how they're interchangeable. But at the same time, if you're watching this, if you're doing formulas, if you're doing this stuff, then you want both of them. And it is absolutely imperative that you have these two. It just is. I was hoping Cedrol smelled more like cedar. I'm just going to tell you, Here's Steve, what you can do is if you look, you need your Cedrol. You have it on order. That's going to be awesome. That's fine. It is not going to be cedarwood. It does not smell like cedarwood Atlas. It does not smell like cedarwood Himalayan. It smells like a cedarwood Atlas or Himalayan that has been totally cleaned up. Really, really cleaned up. But it is part of, or a derivative of, or comes from the cedarwood Atlas. So if you look, cedarwood Atlas, cedarwood Himalayan smell a little different. They're not expensive at all. Get you some, because here we go again. Get your cedarwood Atlas. If you really like that cedarwood smell, Steve, take it and add just a little bit of the Cedrol to it. And what is that going to do? It's going to soften this, and it's going to, you know, that pungent, sharp, I'm going to say it, sour, almost sour note that is in cedarwood Atlas and Himalayan. It will take that, adding just a tiny bit of the Cedrol to it is going to take some of that pungent, sour down. That's why some people want to like cedarwood Atlas, and they kind of have a hard time with it because of the some people just, all they smell is sour, all they smell is pungent. It will take that down, and you'll still have your cedarwood there. So this Cedrol could be a helper and a worker, but also it's a great addition to any other woods that you have, and it's not going to take away from your wood aroma that you're going for. This one's not going to take away from any other wood. You can add the Cedrol to any wood you would like, and it will not take away from it at all. Mark my words. I promise you, it won't. Silver amber. I will wear it by itself. I sure will. Oh my God. It's amazing. It's another one that to me is just sexy. Oh my God. It's so sensual. It really, really is nice. So here, I'm going to help you out with a formula, okay? So let's take our ISOE Super. So I'm going to kind of stick with this to kind of maybe it might help you to understand the ISOE Super, the Timber Silk, and the Silva Amber a little better. I think I've done a video on it. I know I've done another video. So if you want to know more, because I don't remember what I put in the other videos. I just don't. I do know I did go into some great detail. I gave you the numbers on the gamma in the other video where I go over these three and kind of tell you the differences between them, because they are incredibly similar, very, very similar. The gamma is the only difference in these three. So that's the only difference. So a formula. What you can do that is so absolutely simple is take one of these, or take 6 drops of ISOE Super, 3 drops or 4 drops of Timber Silk, and 2 drops of the Silva Amber. See what I did there? Do that, and then add one other thing. add 1 drop of rose, or like a rose accord. Add 1 drop or 2 drops of a jasmine, or a gardenia, or a something like that. That right there is a formula. Put that together, let that sit for a few days, and then dilute it and wear it. You will be surprised. I am here to tell you, it is amazing. So you can, or let's get super, super simple. Let's just take your timber silk, put 10 drops of timber silk, and let's say 1 drop of I have my soft cashmere accord, 1 drop of soft cashmere, which is a musk, and then 1 drop of Sempencuda. I'm probably saying it wrong. Jasmine is the type of jasmine absolute accord that I made. Put 1 drop of that because that is it smells like jasmine absolute. Oh my God. 1 drop of that, you're done. Like, that is a fragrance, and it will be super complex. And we use 3 materials. So I'm just trying to help you how to simply use these 3 materials. And you could have substituted any of these. It doesn't matter. Or use a combination of these and do, I'm making this up, but I've done it, like 70% of your formula this, and then 30% what kind of formula do you want, or what kind of fragrance are you wanting. So 30% can be white florals, or magnolia, or you could go in a different direction. Sweet pineapple accord. I would do just 2 drops of the sweet pineapple accord, which this pineapple accord, I am here to tell you, you will not find a more accurate fresh, sweet pineapple just sliced in liquid form right here than my sweet pineapple accord. Is probably the #1 accord, and I have like over 200 accords now. Oh my God, I really do. This one is crazy amazing. It's number 679. I number all of my accords, and the number is the most important thing. It's 679. This, with just these, like 2 drops of the pineapple accord, especially like any Creed stuff, Aventus, blah, 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 blah. Here you go. With like 6 drops of your ISOE Super. With your timber silk, do your 4 drops and do your, timber silk 2 drops, and then your Silva Amber 2. I messed that up. 2 drops, 6, 4, 2. So 6 of your ISOE Super, 4 of your timber silk, and 2 of your Silva Amber. And that, I promise you, is a fragrance, and people will be like, what are you wearing? Wow, that is amazing. I'm here to tell you. Yes, thank you, Roxana. I appreciate your help. Yeah, so that is just, hopefully I am teaching you how to get simple as well, because sometimes you're just like, oh God, this is just all overwhelming, and oh, it's just too much, I don't get it. Okay, back up And hopefully that is something just simple that you can do. And just to way simplify it, I usually go to, is the timber silk. And I do timber silk, and I pick one or two other accords are best, just because accords have a number of things all together in them, and it can just make the fragrance a little bit more nuanced and full and that type of thing. So again, I'll just say, so like soft cashmere accord, and let me pick one other thing that goes good with the warm cashmere. Oh my God, where is it? Oh my God. My warm vanilla musk. What? And then my orange blossom absolute accord. So just one drop of each of those, and like 10 drops of your timber silk. You are fragranced to go. You are good to go. I'm here to tell you that right there, you would freak if you smelled that as a fragrance. And I'm here to tell you, I'm going to make it today because that's awesome. Simple, just 4 materials. Yes, these are accords, but still very simple because you're just using 4 materials. Now, what you can do is just substitute. So if you know you have something like an orange blossom accord, some type of orange blossom, this is an absolute accord. So it smells just like the absolute. It's crazy. It's amazing. And then something else like a warm vanilla musk. If you have something like that, even just vanilla, okay. And then something like a soft cashmere. So a soft musk. These, I mean, that's an entire formula right there. And then let that sit for a few days in your vial, and then add perfumer's alcohol, IPM, or both, or whatever, and make your fragrance with it. And that's how you do it. So, with how much alcohol? So let's say you made your fragrance, okay? So I have this much of a undiluted, it's just 100% of the materials, okay? And I want to make a perfume out of it. So I'm going to add perfumer's alcohol, or IPM. That's another story. What you will do to be really simple is do a 10% fragrance. So that means it's going to be 10% of your formulation to 90% alcohol. That's not going to be too light, and it's not going to be too heavy. It's a perfect ratio. You can absolutely go, this is one place where it's just, it could be complicated really, really quick, but I'm just staying simple with 10%. I'm just choosing that because that's a great in between. You can go lower and you can go higher. 20 is like kind of enough. That's pretty strong. But 10, so you'll just simply, another way to go simple, like really, really basic and simple, is drops. So, with drops, my calculations I've done, not in this book, it's in the other book. It's in this book. So if we want to do a 10%, let's say we have we want to do 4 milliliters of a fragrance. At 10%, it is 16 drops of this concentrate, and the rest will be your perfumer's alcohol, up to the 4 mLs, which would make about this much. That would be at 10%. So that's how you do it. You can also, which is more accurate, is you can do a scale. You want to get a scale and you want to weigh it. So you're going to, in your perfume, whatever you're going to put your perfume in, you're going to put that on the scale, zero it out, add some of this, find out how much you just added, and then you're going to put whatever that number is times 9. And then the times 9, that's going to be the amount of your perfume. And there you go, you have a 10%. And then your fragrance is ready to wear at 10%. So that's what you'll do. So, but when you are making your formula in here, like I was showing you, you want to let it sit for, it's a whole nother story. Oh my God, it can be complicated. You want to let it sit for a week or 2. All the other people are like, what? Hear me out. Just to be simple, if you're like, I just, I want to make a simple formula, I don't want to wait forever. Okay, wait a week or 2, and then you add your alcohol to make your perfume. Okay? But it needs to sit. Those molecules need to all come together and do their thing and become cohesive, because otherwise it's a whole bunch of different molecules all over the place, and it's just a whole bunch of separate things. But over time, they will come together and be cohesive, and it will be one. They will become one. They need to blend together and come together, and that takes time. You have to trust me, it just does. So that's the deal. Now for real, what you really, really need to do is you need to really wait a long time. And a long time is, the more of a base it is, the heavier your formula is, the longer it's going to need to sit. So some that are like with oud and really dark wood, and it's just heavy molecules, 6 months, a year. I'm not kidding. Especially if you're doing an accord and you're doing wood accords, you're doing heavy base accords, those need to sit for a long time. Just saying. But with your perfume formulas, they need to sit like 2 months. They need to sit for a good while, the heavier they are. If it is just a top note floral, top note citrusy, and that's pretty much all it is, it's just really, really light, wait a week or 2, and it's probably good to go. So there's no hard and fast rule, except for the rule is you need to give it time. Give it a week or 2 to sit and mature and come together and be cohesive. Like fine wine ages before you drink it, absolutely. Yes. So I hope that is helpful. And do you guys have anything you would like me to do a video on or about? I'm going to ask again. Let me know in the chat room. And probably there's a couple of people watching who are not in the chat room or can't get in the chat room because they're on TV or whatever and watching it on TV, and they're probably frustrated because they have stuff they want me to talk about. But I'm willing to go over a material or talk about how to do whatever. I just need to know from you what you want me to do, what you want me to talk about, what you want to learn. about. I need to know. So if you could do that, that would be really helpful. But it needs to be kind of like now, because when I go offline, it stops and you're not going to be able to get in to type in the chat when I stop the recording. So if there's something you would like me to go over or talk about, or maybe it's a material you don't have and you've been thinking about it, I wonder what it smells like, I wonder how it is, how long is it, all that kind of stuff, I can do that. I can help you with that. So I just need to know what you would like me to go over. So oh my God, Steve, that's, oh my God, right? First of all, he was like, would you make a woody cologne? Yes. So it's going to be my next video. That's how fast, if you just ask, I'll do it. So my next video I'm about to do, I am going to do a woody cologne with you from the top of my head. So just how I do it. So I have no formula yet. I'm not going to look at my old formulas or anything. I'm just going to make a woody cologne with you. Okay, that will be my next video. Steve, how to make black currant? It drives me crazy. That one is difficult to do because the red and black currant I want to make, I have done so much research. It's so difficult because of those green galbanum type spirogalbanum, those notes, those things that in the cassis and all of that kind of stuff. I have yet to figure it out. I mean, a black currant accord, if that's what you're asking about, is crazy difficult, and I've not figured it out, and I'm going to figure it out. But if you're talking about a black currant fragrance, yes, we can do a black currant fragrance because I have a couple of materials that are black currant, and I can make a fragrance using that, and it being black currant being the body of it, and then we'll do stuff, different aromas around it to make a fragrance based off of and centering around black currant. Is that what you're talking about, or how to make black currant like accord? I know that's what you're asking because it's so hard to do. I mean, it's really hard to do. There's a few things that are hard to do. Oh my God, it's one of them. Wow. So, Wyoming Park, what up? Yay, so glad you're here. I am about to, this video is about to end, unfortunately, but I take a small break, and I'm absolutely going to do another video. So I'm going to do a number of videos today. Just like this. This is just easier for me to do it this way. So my next video that I'm going to do is a wood fragrance, a wood cologne. And then a video after that, I'm going to do a black currant formula. I mean, a black currant fragrance. Yes, Steve. So Steve, like I don't have the black currant accord down. I just don't. But I have a couple of black currant materials, and I'm going to make a fragrance. Steve, I am one of those who I don't know perfumes and fragrances out there in the world. I don't know. I don't wear them. I don't go to the mall and smell them all and all that kind of stuff. So when you say the from Aventus, I've not smelled it. Can you give me some more descriptors of what type of fragrance you want me to make, that will be my second video today that I will make. And I will do it. Give me however you love to describe your black currant fragrance that you would like me to make in the chat, if you could possibly do that. That would be really helpful. Unless you're just like, really wasn't talking about making a fragrance. I was talking about the accord. So if you'll let me know. I know it takes a while to type if you're typing, but I'm not sure if you're typing or not. But yeah, so my next video, I'm about to do, I'm going to take a short break, I'm going to cut back, and I'm going to do a wood cologne accord, and then I will stop, take a short break, and then I'll come back and do either way, I'll do a black currant fragrance. We will do a black currant fragrance. And I'm going to add my sweet pineapple accord. It will be in the fragrance. So that's what we'll do. Okay, thank you guys. If you like this video and if this is helpful for you, if this is a classroom for you, and you want to support me and help me out even just a tiny little bit at Patreon, patreon.com/Mountain Aromatics. That is one way that you can support me. With my Patreons, I give away my formulas. I give fragrance samples of my fragrances, and I also give away my accord samples. So like I send them to you, and then by email I send my formulas. But that's what I give to those people who help support me. So if that's something that you would like to do, you are welcome to do that. Also, below this, later today, I will post my accords price list if you want to contact me by email to purchase some accords that I make. That is my specialty, is accords. And my accords are not simple, and almost just tons of them have absolutes in them, CO2s. They are incredibly high-end, rare oils. It is accords I use that I want to make. I make them for me, and so I make them the best that I possibly can make them. And that's exactly what you get when you purchase those. So again, it's patreon.com/Mountain Aromatics if you would like to do that. And I have not marketed my formulas. I have not done that. I am trying to put a thing together where you can purchase like 4 or 5 formulas at a time. So it's kind of like a PDF of some formulas, that kind of a thing. And that's one thing that I'm working on. But that will be, I'm not opposed to selling some of my formulas. There are some I will never sell, but there are definitely a number of them that I'm willing to sell, including accord formulas, but those would be much more expensive. To me, my accord formulas are more meaningful to me, way more meaningful. But anyway, I will see you on the next Mountain Aromatics. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you are learning, and this is a great way for you to be able to watch this again and, hey, I missed that. What was that? And you are able to just watch it again. So you can do that. I'll see you in a bit, and we'll do a woody cologne formula. I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you soon.